Because women, unlike women who are perfectly of legal mind to do it, children are not.
Legal
Children are
mind.
still. Well,
What does that
children.
mean?
Children.
Just
When they're
because it's
16,
legal doesn't mean it's
when they're
right.
16, they can't have sex. The state doesn't deem them responsible to have sex.
Just because it's legal doesn't
smoke,
mean it's right.
drink,
The Holocaust
drive
was
a
legal.
car at all.
No, it
So-
wasn't.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't Germany.
Yeah,
Well,
till they got,
no, technically it wasn't, because a lot of the citizenship declared that
knew.
they didn't even know it happened, so it was done
Alright.
illegally
Stoning
put by
gays
the
is
government.
legal.
It doesn't mean it was
in
legal just
Saudi
because they...
Arabia.
So I think if the state doesn't deem them capable of being able to have sex responsibly, they shouldn't be allowed to fight on the front lines
well,
responsibly.
so you
I
want to
think
look.
that's probably a good standard to have.
Also, you want to look at the lost boys in Africa. You know how messed up they are. All them lost African
I,
boys.
I can already sense the great bumming that's going to occur in this game.
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Females
get worse before it
comprise
gets
of
better.
7.5% of the People's Liberation Army.
That's
And
China.
that
though.
they're like, their army's like a good,
Yeah, but the most.
massive, isn't it? It's the world's largest army, and 7.5% of them are females. That's quite impressive.
Prepare for your stern pioneers to be outshot by that infantry section, bro.
That's me.
How many people
No,
do you
that's-
reckon are in the Liberation Army?
Yeah, that's you.
Like 100 million or something. That's probably really badly.
I actually don't. I have no clue whatsoever.
I actually defeated them.
It's the world's largest army. It contains 2 million personnel, or 2.25 personnel. Which means, oh god, what's 7.5% of 2.25 million people?
I can't hold for much longer.
Oh god, what is that awful noise?
Command has authorized the use of radio silence.
Yes, what's that noise?
What?
Did you say
Yeah.
yep, please?
Getting some great, like,
Ready for action.
annoyance.
There are
coming
too
in.
many. Yeah. Just pull back.
Did we just get 3v2?
I don't know.
I think so. We just abandoned the southern half.
Why is no one taking the middle?
Because me and Brown were fighting 3v2 up north. I'm gonna go spam support guns, Brown.
Okay.
More people, more women serve in the Chinese army than comprise the entire British army.
Let me replay.
But that's not surprising though, because the
No,
British
it's
army
not
is tiny.
surprising, but it does mean that theoretically China could invade us with an army comprised entirely of women,
What is this?
fully armed, and potentially beat us because they outnumber us.
What?
I mean, that's obviously not all there is to combat, but they'd outnumber
What is this
us.
spam?
What was this spam alliance? We need
Kill
unite.
yourself in the end.
We need united forces because they're teaming up because they're clan.
Oh no, it's just. Oh god, they have 2 sniper squads.
Yeah, that guy had two sniper. What's it? I don't know. I forget what they're called.
No! Stone Pines, please! Oh, for God's sake! It went in on its own. Such bullshit. Should give me like a big flashing message. The Stone Pioneers are acting stupid again. My lord. Don't even know what I can do. You've taken my spot, man.
It's really quite shocking how been that women are actually been allowed to serve in all areas of the military. Because I mean, technically they could say they've been serving in the military since like World War II, but or even World War One. But the fact that like in the US, only in 2016 have all combat jobs been open to women.
Oh, that crisp sound.
Or of a Goliath blowing up.
No, my new headset just makes the sound so much better.
Yeah, new head.
Here comes the army of Brens.
Already? Universal Garrus.
Well, yeah, watching the Watchmen was really good. Again,
Here she is.
the scene with Rorschach is very sad.
Yeah. Oh
I
no!
saw something
Awful.
interesting. I read something interesting
Give me that.
about that as well.
Still give me that. Out of there.
So what is the North Africa thing going to include?
Well, the North African
Who called
campaign.
this?
I mean armies, because I won't play the campaign, I'll just play the multiplayer.
I have no idea. I can't tell
Do you
you.
think maybe another German faction?
I only heard that it was coming out. I don't know what it
Yeah.
sort of includes.
Well, I'm hoping for another German faction.
What can we do against such a menace?
Such a menace. Become a greater menace. Imagine if they added female soldiers to this game.
They do.
They do.
You get Soviet female snipers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the tank drivers.
You begin to notice that Brown
They can
stops
be-
using both of them because he's afraid that they'll have, I don't know, their period in the middle of
They
battle
they can probably make good snipers.
They're
Not as
too
good as men,
weak
but-
to crank the tank turret around to shoot.
You go on about Space Marines being superior because of their physical attributes.
Yeah, they're
But then
genetically altered
you don't-
physical attributes.
You don't make the same. You don't make the same comments about women.
What?
Well, you
The
say
physical
Space Marines are
differences
better.
between a man and the woman are not akin to that and a normal man and a space marine in any way, because the origins of the differences are completely different. Because one, space
What do you mean the
marines have
origins?
a super advanced
I thought you
armor
wanted physically
and
superior men.
advanced genetic altering, and almost like one in a million people become a space marine, and of all the initiates that come through, like hundreds of them will be killed in the process of finding one that's even remotely capable of being a space marine. And the only reason why all men are space marines is because of like the
it's
genetic.
just a story.
It's
It's
because
just
of
a
the
story, Chaz. You don't have to tell me the details.
I know,
I find it
but-
odd that you think, well, women can be good soldiers, but then
But they can
you
be.
agree that Space Marine
Why
is
is it so hard to assume
a
that
physically
women could
superior
be
soldier
good
like a
soldiers?
Space
If
Marine
there
is
was a woman,
better than an ordinary man.
if there's a woman who can serve in the military perfectly fine, should she be allowed to serve? If she can serve
Yes.
as good as a man, fine.
But
There.
my point is that she won't be able to.
What? I'm saying in a hypothetical where, let's say 1 in a million women are capable of adequately serving in the military, which isn't true.
Yeah. But don't you think it's a waste of time to even train them?
What? They cost the
If it's
exact
1 in a
same
million,
amount.
it's just a waste of time. To
We
let
don't
women in, it's easier just to say, no, you're a woman.
What?
Don't be stupid.
That makes no sense. It doesn't cost any more to train a woman than it does a man.
No, what I'm saying is, at the gates, you get 100 people, you have to select 20, there's 50 women there. Are you going to let all those women in knowing there's a
We
1 in a
don't.
million
The
chance that
British
she'll
Army
be able to
accepts all
complete it?
requests.
No, of
doesn't
course
it?
not.
Unless it's for medical reasons, you're not allowed to serve.
I finally got rid of the Bofor, by the way. It's gone. But we're most
There's
likely.
certain roles like medics, maybe some snipers.
If there was a
They shouldn't be
woman who
allowed to be
was-
infantry.
If there was a woman who was exceptional, then when opposed to men, because let's not pretend that
You
the
keep bringing up these really
Right,
like
Right, but
unlikely
let's not
hypothetical
pretend. Let's not pretend
situations.
that the people who join the military are these exceptional specimens. Okay. Nowadays, joining the military is akin to having almost nowhere else to go. In many respects, another stereotype is that lots of people, boys in the military, are yobs
They could
or
be-
chavs who have nothing else to do, or join it.
The women
because
could
they
be
think it'd
engineers as well.
or
They
join
could
it because
be
they think
behind the
it'll be
lines
epic.
repairing the tanks.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth did that. In World War II, she repaired trucks and tanks. Military.
Yeah. So why don't they do that rather than being infantry?
Why does if they want to serve?
No, they're not suitable.
Only if they don't pass. What?
But they won't
I'm
pass,
saying
will they?
I'm saying there should at least be a test, standard test, and women who can pass
It's a
the
waste
standard
of resources
test.
to test women, knowing that only
It's
one
not
of
testing
probably
just women.
1,000.
You have to test men as well. Brown.
Yeah, but what I'm
What
saying
happens if
is...
there's a fickle man who
No.
wants to be in the military, but because he's a man, he's
No,
allowed to
kick him
serve?
out.
Yeah. So if men are being kicked
You
out,
have
because
to filter the people.
if men, yeah, exactly my point.
Otherwise
So
you're
if
gonna
men-
waste time.
If you're kicking out men because they're exceptionally weak to serve as soldiers, surely you should accept women who are exceptionally strong to be soldiers. No matter how unlikely
Yeah, I
there are to
suppose
be
so.
them, surely if there is one, we might as well use her. If she's willing to serve, that's all you need. She's capable and she's willing. Usually you have to.
Giggity.
You have to conscript
Are you on the right
people
mic?
to get that.
Yeah, well,
See?
it depends which way you're looking, but yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
when-
saying we should lower the bar of service.
It's the mind that you have to consider as well. It's the body. You have different minds, Jazz.
I thought you said they had minds then.
You can have a great body, but a weak mind. A strong body, but a weak mind.
Sounds so much like someone from like Inspector Calls, or someone like one of those kind of people going, "Don't be silly, women have weak minds."
Don't you agree?
If you ever talked to a girl and said that you can't serve in the military because you have a weak mind and a weak body, you're better off serving in the
But that's
kitchen.
true. So I'm not allowed
All
to
of
tell the
those
truth
things
now.
you've said aren't acceptable anymore.
I don't
because
care
you
if
said
they're
them out
acceptable.
in public, you'd be beaten up by women who might be stronger than you.
Very unlikely.
Would you hit them? They hit you.
No.
I'd hit
It's like
someone who
hitting a
hit
small
me. I
child.
don't care who they are.
Because that's not.
I'd hit anyone who hit me. Is
Yeah.
the thing.
No, it's unacceptable to hit someone much weaker than you. It's like hitting a small child.
I'd hit a child.
You hit a lot of people.
Okay then.
I'd hit a child. Little fucking
Little fucker, fucking
I hit a
fuck.
child in high school. Well, not. He wasn't really a child. He was like year 8. He was a little chap. Bastard.
Depends how badly they were hitting me. If they hit me with a weapon, then I would. When I was doing some volunteer work,
Oh my
There
god.
was a-
I'm trying to picture you having a conversation with my mum, and I'm not
There
quite
was-
sure you survived.
there was
the
a woman
outcome.
that worked there, and she was unable to hammer in some wooden stake, and she appeared stunned when I was able to do it so easily.
Okay.
She doesn't suit that job.
Yeah,
She's
fine,
too weak
she
to perform the
doesn't.
physical activities.
I'm not talking about. You're talking about things in absolutes, which is what I
No,
really
I'm
don't
not.
like. Yes, you are. You're saying women can't serve at all. Categorically.
No, I'm saying it's a waste of time to
Not a
select
waste of-
women because so
No,
few of them are
it
going to be
doesn't
able to
cost
serve.
any more, though, does it? If you're trying to conscript an army, yeah, and you have a standard bill for what you need as a soldier, bearing
Oh,
in
no, the
mind
right's wrong.
bearing in mind that times when you need to conscript, you just take anybody, regardless of whether or not they're too young or too frail.
I like how you've got 3 support guns, Ian.
It's artillery.
Like, remember what's his name, Murphy, from the US. You know who Murphy is?
No. Which one?
He's the guy. He was the real life inspiration for Captain America.
Alright.
How are we being bullied so badly in this game?
He,
Yeah, he is.
Audie Murphy, he's called. I went to his grave whilst I was in the US. He's the most decorated soldier in World War II. And he wasn't allowed to serve. Like he enlisted, tried to enlist like 5 times, but because he has lots of different illnesses that make him exceptionally weak and small and frail, he wasn't allowed to serve. Eventually, he managed to trick. He went to different like recruitment camps around America, got in, and then served. Because of his frailty, they put him behind the lines where he wouldn't fight in actual frontline combat.
Why don't they just put him in as a driver or...
Yeah, the Germans pushed through in Italy, in a counterattack, and alone on the back of a jeep with a machine gun, he took out like 50 Germans. Got his first Medal of Honor then. He went on to receive like 4 Medal of Honors. He's the most highly decorated soldier of the war.
He has the same mind as a man, though.
No,
Just he doesn't have the physical form of a normal man.
so it was the mind that made him shoot.
Yeah. He had a strong
No,
mind.
his mind. What happens if his mind was bad as well?
He wouldn't have done that.
No, he might have.
Oh, nice, your infantry thing.
He is the second most visited grave site
Oh.
in the US behind John F. Kennedy.
Let me bombard an MG first, Brown.
Okay.
Because you get fucking bombarded to hell. Watch them die now.
Should die pretty quick.
Or nearly dead already. He's retreating! Get him! Get the coward! I'm gonna blow up the building.
T-34s.
You're winning, they flee.
Yeah. Probably destroy one of them as well.
All gun batteries reporting. Reconnaissance by flare now available.
Oh, what the hell are my support guns doing?
Murphy stood on a flaming tank destroyer, returning fire to German foot soldiers and advancing tanks, killing and wounding 50 Germans. He sustained a leg wound during his stand and stopped only when he ran out of
Can't be with that
ammunition.
T-34.
And he failed 5 times to pass the basic level of recruitment. 5 times. He only got in because he managed to trick the system.
Yeah.
And he became the most
Well,
decorated
you don't
soldier
just
in the
endanger
war.
yourself.
But
You
that
endanger your
but-
comrades. If you're too weak,
proved
Carry
that he proved that a person with the right willpower can be
Yeah, no, he
exceptional.
makes a good point about that, Chester. Like, it's not just himself that he would have endangered. Like, they have to have these regulations in
Not-
order to make sure people who won't get other people killed don't get into the army. I'm not saying that he obviously was one of them, because he obviously proved them wrong and it was a good sort of feat, but
Yeah, but I know why they're there, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have them.
Snipers,
But
yeah.
I'm saying that his idea that women couldn't obviously serve because they're not physically strong enough, nor have the mental capability, when there are men who are also stopped for those exact same reasons, despite not obviously being men, not women, ended up managing to sneak in and doing exceptionally in wars, in brutal wars as well, not just like war in Afghanistan, where all the soldiers did was move up as the planes took everything out. But there are exceptional soldiers out there who have disabilities that meant they were akin to basically being women. The only real difference, of course, being their mind, which you for some reason, must assume it couldn't possibly be because that
I think the mind's more
tests
important
were
than
wrong. You just have
the
to
body.
assume that the only reason he won isn't because, you know, he was just an exceptional person. It's because he had the mind of a man.
the mind of a brave man.
Why not a brave woman?
Less likely to be brave.
Why are they less likely to be brave? Why? What physical thing can you think of? What thing can you think of to make them less brave?
Well, maybe if brave's not the right word.
Think tactically, panic, fight or flight.
I think we might have turned this one around, lads.
seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just see how long they stay on the back foot for, eh?
First, don't get cocky yet, please.
I was cocky even when I started.
By flare now available.
Oh god, a KV.
And pen.
Oh, Sherman Firefly's gonna get it! Oh! Oh! Heroes. Heroes of the right.
Go back. SU-85.
Moving artillery
Don't
barrage.
care, it can't. It's going to struggle to penetrate the frontal armour.
back, round back. I've nearly
Watch
destroyed
your
all
stug,
the mod
mate.
positions.
What?
Thought your stug might have accelerated even further. Which wouldn't have been good, would it?
I've nearly destroyed their mod positions.
I think I should have gone for the walking Stuka and the mechanical.
Don't worry,
Mechanized.
my support guns are wrecking them.
Yeah, they are.
Your thing's repaired, by the way.
Okay, thanks. No, I repaired actually.
I got some head.
You will get no thanks.
Yeah.
Moving barrage commencing.
Oh god, please. That noise.
Sorry.
Should be.
God, we've really turned this one around in a big way. Shit.
Bombarding their support base. No mercy. We're just getting barrage left barrage.
Oh, I have to try and memorise all these
Pull back.
fucking writers for my exams
Pull back,
tomorrow.
Brown, pull back!
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Why?
Hey, Panther.
Because I don't get notes in my exam.
I am moving my attention up north.
I'm trying. The problem I find with revising this particular thing is that all the issues are they're quite argumentative. Like the stuff we're talking about is the kind of stuff we're doing, like human rights and wrongs. So the idea that women can serve is actually one of the topics we've done. I'm picking child soldiers and stuff. Or humanitarian intervention. Should we use military force to intervene for humanitarian reasons?
My issue is whenever we do, we get sort of told off for it.
Finish that.
What?
Assault gun again.
Humanitarian
You can.
intervention?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually arguing.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
Like how you'd reflect the
Oh.
argument. Richard Just.
Yeah.
So the guy I'm using is Richard Just, and he says that if you're trying to be critical of our invasion of Iraq, be akin to supporting us not invading to stop Rwanda, or us,
Yeah.
or being critical of us invading Kosovo or Bosnia to stop the genocides there. Just because it turned out after the fact that there weren't, there wasn't mass killings. In fact, there were. That doesn't mean that it wasn't any less an important act to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And an example would be Rwanda, quite clearly. We didn't send troops in. I mean, the UN sent peacekeepers in, but they can't do the things that soldiers can do, is the problem. They're there to treat wounds. Not there to make them, essentially, is the point. So, like in Rwanda, the Hotel Rwanda, there's that famous scene you can go on about where they're around a truck and they get in and start cutting people up. They can't do anything about it. It's because they can't. They're not allowed. They can't do it. They're only there to evacuate people and sort of push people like police forces, not to shoot people.
Why are they giving guns then?
Sure.
Deterrence,
I think
deterrence.
quite a few of them were rubber bullets, actually.
He's
In
making
the
a pack
actual
gun.
event-
Oh, it's
in the
Mike.
actual event, lots of them were rubber bullets.
Yeah.
That's actually a good position for one.
Yeah. Well, I
I just
mean,
hope it doesn't get bombed.
obviously it doesn't cover the bridge, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think one
I figured if they come through that way, then it's a good way.
great turnaround, boys. Who knew?
But yeah, intervention's such a
I know it's been a
crucial
really
thing.
good turnaround actually.
I forgot to record it as well.
Nice one.
Then what's the point of putting the UN in if they can't shoot back?
Because they're peacekeepers, not soldiers. Because the idea is that the UN can't
There's no point in having
denounce.
them.
UN can't denounce one regime and then support another. They're just there to make sure innocents don't get killed.
And a lot of innocents got killed anyway. So just let them
Because
use their
no one,
guns.
because they were outnumbered.
This is why the
essentially.
UN. This is why Kevin Spacey need to go in and get rid of the UN. What's
Kevin
the point?
Spacey.
You know, in Call of Duty, remember, like, there's no point
Yeah.
in the UN.
The point was that that's not the UN's job. The UN's job is not to do that.
So what?
Military intervention's always been by countries, not by the United Nations. It's not allowed to do that.
They're just pointless when keeping peace.
No,
that's
they're
a lie.
not. They have served a bunch of other important issues, but when it came to military intervention, that's what NATO does.
Well, the point of having troops then, why are we even giving
UN
soldiers?
doesn't have troops. It has
God, I thought my game had
peacekeepers.
crashed just then. I was about to
Doesn't
scream.
have UN doesn't have tanks or gunships. It just
Should.
has people to evacuate, and they did manage to evacuate a lot of people.
1 million dead, Charlie.
I'm a
That's
glorious Cuba wagon.
People criticize things like, oh well, if we did, we'd just be supporting the Tutsis, who were just as bad as
Look
the,
at it. Still alive, shooting.
just as bad as the Hutu. But the Tutsis won in the end anyway. If
Hutu you
support-
Vutu, bitch.
If we'd supported the Tutsi rebellion, the outcome would have been the same as if we hadn't, but less people dead by about 1 million.
the UN pointless. We need to get rid of them.
We've turned this
UN's
great
not
game
pointless
around.
in the end.
It is pointless.
Really?
Let's get rid of them.
Oh no, the Cuba wagon, it's gone.
Is it dead? Oh, the hero. We didn't get any killed.
Did you hear the emotion in my voice?
Pointless. We need to get rid of them. They save lives of. They bring.
I also
big
hate.
lives.
I also increasingly hate the argument that people that were about humanitarian intervention, where they say, "Oh, well, we did it for alternative reasons." So that honestly doesn't really matter. I mean, the kid who's starving on the street isn't going to care that celebrities endorse them being fed for a year for publicity. They just care about being fed.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to the kid, does it? It doesn't matter if we invaded Iraq for oil reasons, if we still save the people's lives. The Kurds
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
didn't mind when we saved
No.
them from being gassed.
Exactly. I agree with these points, Chas.
Yeah,
agree.
that's what Richard
Guess who's
Justice
out?
is saying. He
King?
hates this guy called Reef. Is basically saying that if we did invade, we'd essentially put another bad person in, and Justice saying, yeah, there is no good outcome to humanitarian intervention. It's the least worst outcome we're looking for.
He's here. He's coming up the road. God!
God.
Railway.
Another one is transitional justice, which actually I've always found really annoying.
We should do
I've
a
never
great
lost
job.
a king in this game.
We lost many.
Will I lose one today?
Like, we did this case study on a country called Timor-Leste. It was actually called East Timor now. And it was occupied for 24 years by Indonesia, and it was invaded like in the 80s or something.
We should do a great charge.
And recently they've rebelled and managed
What
to
do you
take
think I'm preparing
control
for, yeah?
again of their country, and they've destroyed most of their infrastructure, and now they're like punishing lots of the Indonesians. Transitional justice, which is the kind of thing where when one regime dies, all the old people get it's like the Nuremberg trials were transitional justice, where all the old people got charged
Go,
for their war
charge!
crimes and stuff. And I found something that not even our courts covered, which really pissed me off, which was that it turns out when Timor-Leste was invaded by Indonesia, it was because they thought it would be a communist state, so we endorsed it and sent troops in to help them take over the country.
Yeah.
And then, 20 years down the line, we're the ones heading to war crime charges against the country we supported in their invasion, and then turn a blind eye to their crimes. Where's our justice for that? Where do we get punished for facilitating the invasion and then ignoring the war crimes for 20 years?
Because we're white people, that's why. Well, you're white people.
Yeah, that argument doesn't
We're,
hold up, does
we're
it?
white people.
You just included yourself
Yeah, that's
in
why.
the wrong race. Yeah.
That's why we credit you guys.
I don't know, dude, you're pretty white.
All the girlies say you're pretty white for a Nia.
You're pretty white for a chow mein.
For a chow mein.
Just don't stand a chance, Brown.
Oh my, we're in their base. What can they do?
Oh, it's a Sherman against the king.
Oh,
No!
they
It's too
surrendered.
late! The king's destroyed.
The great surrender, the great victory,
Cease action.
the greatness.
Battle has been won.
Deserved victory.
Oh, no spoils. Nice prestige fag.
Were they full prestige? I wasn't looking.
Get carried, fags.
Did they say that to you?
Only one of them had prestige. We basically struggled against a poor opposition. Wait for nerf.
I'm gonna message that sweet guy. I'm gonna say nice salt, bro. Dee 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 dee.